Worldwide movement, peace, love, respect. Big King Sadiq hollering at you one more again. All right. This will be very quick, folks, but I did want to share a concept that I was pondering. The differences in a couple of different types of wealth. First of all, wealth in these linear, finite systems, right? Um, or or should I say, versus wealth in true abundance. All right. Now, wealth in finite systems um, we're living in, right? We see the result of. You can only have wealth in finite systems with a uh, mentality that supports that system, right? Or rather, does the system create the mentality? So, in a wealth in finite linear systems, um, you find that wealth is attained through constant consumption, right? Um, you see finite systems where the sources um, of wealth are not replenished, right? Rather, the mentality is simply to find more sources to consume, right? Constant consumption is the methodology, right, of that type of wealth. And we see that it results in what it only can result in, which is finite systems that eventually are depleted, all right? Um, versus wealth in abundance, right? Which is, wealth in abundance is actually the product of wealth born from cyclical systems, right? In cyclical systems, the sources of wealth are always replenished by the design of the system, right? A system that always puts back from whence it takes. Um, in that, you avoid the need for constant consumption and you have uh, cyclical usage versus constant consumption. In that, you can have sustained wealth without what you see in the finite systems, right? Which is in the finite systems, you see social systems, socioeconomic systems that produce what we call the haves and have nots, right? This is because you're constantly working within a linear finite system that cannot accommodate all, right? Whereas when you are working with cyclical systems, you have the potential to accommodate all. Not only that, but the design of those systems actually benefits uh, from all being accommodated because all are constantly feeding back into the system to replenish it. Um, thus, the cyclical nature of those systems, right? And this produces true abundance, right? True wealth, because it is done in an abundant fashion and in one that can be sustainable. All right. So what we have had in the old paradigm is the system of haves and have nots, right? And that is what has gotten us to where we are now, right? If you truly examine world history, you see that the ills of the old paradigm, the misery, pain, and hate, the war, um, all of the um, eventual results of finite systems of a world of haves and have nots is what we're left to deal with. When we have now the opportunity to switch into cyclical systems that will produce opportunities and potentials for us to all have sustainable levels of wealth within abundant cyclical systems. All right. Just a tidbit of information and a sort of a posing of a question to you, right? Which would you prefer? Which do you think the world would function better in? Which would you say is the way forward in a high vibrational frequency paradigm rather than the old paradigm, the old low vibrational frequency paradigm that we are working our way completely out of now? All right. Big King Sadiq just sharing a little PM thought with you. One time. I love you all. Thank you so much. Please continue to like, share, subscribe, click the notification button. Let's continue to build the worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect. Big King Sadiq. I love you all.